Happy New Year. 2023 is upon us, and of course we're in January, which can only mean one thing. That's right, arguably the show of the year is already upon us. Wrestle Kingdom 17, a stacked card from top to bottom. I'm going to give you my preview and predictions here now on SCW. Now, quick disclaimer before we start. I am a casual New Japan follower, so don't follow throughout the entire calendar year, but I've got a bit of an idea of what is going on, and there's some great matches that I'm really looking forward to on the show, but there is a chance I may butcher one or two of the names. You never know, it could be part of the fun of why you're watching this video, but if I do get any names wrong, I do apologise. But like I say, stacked card from top to bottom. I'm really excited about this show. Kenny Omega returning to New Japan Pro Wrestling. Will Sasha Banks show up? Is Okada going to win the gold once again? There is a lot to discuss. So let's not waste any time, shall we? Let's talk about one half of the double main event to kick things off. The IWGP US Heavyweight Championship. The champion Will Ospreay defending against challenger Kenny Omega. Omega back in New Japan, where arguably he was one of the main stars, having some great matches before with Okada and the likes of everybody else. Everyone was always talking about Kenny Omega, and of course he left to go off and do his own thing in AEW. And of course there were big shoes left to fill for Will Ospreay, the guy that was supposed to carry that mantelpiece after Kenny had left. And of course these two, they have been a bit back and forth. We've seen it on AEW TV this year as well. These guys aren't getting along. And arguably Will Ospreay, I'd say he has been filling those shows pretty well. He's got his own faction. He's currently the US Heavyweight Champion. He's been at the top of the card as the World Champion. He's been main eventing in the Tokyo Dome as well. So Will Ospreay has been pulling his weight. The Aerial Assassin has been doing amazing things. But the question here is, can we really say he's filled those shoes until he's beaten Kenny Omega? And that's why I think we could potentially be having match of the year here already. These two are going to tear it down, and you know that for sure. I personally think this is a first of a few matches down the line. This is the first time I think we're going to get an AEW. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a rematch, say, Forbidden Door time later this year. But certainly for me, I think it was one of two different directions could happen with this match. We could have where Will Ospreay perhaps isn't filling the shoes of Kenny Omega. Kenny coming in, winning the US Heavyweight Championship. I mean, think of a big deal that would be, Kenny Omega being a champion for New Japan Pro Wrestling once again. That's also a big deal in itself. But Will Ospreay then actually saying, can I do it? Can I actually beat Kenny Omega? Maybe I'm not the guy that I thought I was, and perhaps looking for that revenge coming to chase in AEW to find Kenny Omega. Or is this going to be the case that Will Ospreay actually does the job, gets cocky, very gloaty, and at some point later down the line, Kenny Omega gets his win back in All Elite Wrestling? That's what I think is one of the two options here. For me personally, this is a big grand stage for New Japan Pro Wrestling. You need to show that your guy is the guy going forward. So for me, as a prediction, I'm going to go for Will Ospreay. And also, I'm patriotic, I'm English. I'm going to go for my boy Will. He's from my neck of the woods as well. So Will Ospreay is going to be my prediction. But I wouldn't be surprised if this went either way. One thing's for sure, I think we're looking at 5 stars with this one. Moving on to our next match then, and of course Kenny Omega, not the only AEW representative on this show. FTR, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, the IWGP Tag Team Champions, will be defending the gold against Hirooki, Goto and Yoshi-Hashi. Of course, they are the World Tag League winners for 2022. I think they're winning the gold here. I think the FTR, they had the opportunity to have 4 Tag Team Championships under their reign. Of course, they were the AAA Tag Team Champions, not batteries, but actually AAA in Mexico. They were also the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. They went for the AEW World Tag titles, lost against the Acclaimed. They then lost the ROH Tag Team belts against the Briscoes at Final Battle. They've recently just lost the AAA Tag Team Championships as well in Mexico. So now I think this is where they lose the full set. I think that Goto and Yoshi-Hashi win the gold here. I won't lie a little bit, just going to put my own little spin on this. I do wish that it was FTR versus Aussie Open, just because I heard that that match was an absolute barn burner when they did that in the UK not so long ago. Would have loved to have seen it here on Wrestle Kingdom, but I've got no doubt these two teams are going to tear it up. I know that Goto and Yoshi-Hashi had a fantastic performance as well on Forbidden Door, of course, last year now. I have to say last year, of course, 2022. So I'm looking forward to seeing what these two teams do when they're working together. I think it will be a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm predicting new tag team champions. What does this mean for FTR going forward? We'll have to wait and see. Moving on, and the wrestling world is pretty crazy in 2023. Not only New Japan got AEW on this show, they've also got representation from WWE on this show. Who would have thought it? Karl Anderson, one member of the OC, of course, also representing Bullet Club, is the current Never Openweight champion. Of course, he was the champion before signing with WWE. There was the whole confusion with the matches with Hikuleo. He got through that, and now we've got a match against Tama Tonga here at Wrestle Kingdom. And of course, from my understanding, Luke Gallows should be in-house as well. There was even rumours that AJ Styles was invited to this show. Will AJ turn up on this show? Of course, a former leader of Bullet Club. Of course, that would be the entire male version of the OC on this show. But of course, AJ is suffering from a broken ankle, so I don't know if that rules him out from making the appearance at least, but certainly if he was to be there, he wouldn't get physical. Now, to go into prediction for this match, I have a feeling Hikuleo's older brother, Tama Tonga, will be picking up the gold here, because what's to say Karl Anderson will be coming back to New Japan anytime soon. Like I say, he's signed with WWE. This could be a one-time deal arrangement. I think it would create more headlines if Karl Anderson retained, perhaps even then lost the belt at New Year's Dash. Maybe that could be a way they could do it, just to create a few more headlines. But I'm going to go here what I think is a safe bet. I'm going to go for a new champion in Tama Tonga. Next is a match I'm really looking forward to. The IWGP Women's Championship match. The first ever champion, Kairi, taking on challenger Tam Nakano. Now, of course, Kairi only won the championship on November 20th in a main event war against Mayu Iwatani, and of course she made history becoming the first ever IWGP Women's Champion. It wasn't long before she was confronted by Tam Nakano, and of course these two do have some history going back into Stardom as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this match brings to the table. For me personally, if I had to predict, I think Kairi is going to retain here. I do think it's just too soon for her to drop the championship. And of course comes in the other big question going into this show. There's been lots of rumours going around with Sasha Banks turning up here. Apparently she's been in Japan. It feels like that it's kind of a certainty that she's going to show up on this show. And of course she has history with Kairi from WWE. Now, of course, is Sasha Banks with WWE anymore? Is she now a free agent? There's all sorts of talk going around at this point. Apparently she can take the bookings that she wishes. I'm still not 100% convinced that she's definitely away from WWE, but hey, that's just my down to opinion, and we'll have to wait and see how it goes. But certainly the fact that she can turn up on this show, maybe challenge Kairi for this championship at a later date, could be a lot of fun. The thing that, by the way, just makes me think that it could be that is there has been rumours that Kairi is wanted for the upcoming Royal Rumble match, of course, later this month. And of course, with some WWE representation already on this show, I mentioned Karl Anderson a minute ago, it could be interesting if Kairi was to come over and be a part of the Women's Royal Rumble match. And of course, if Sasha Banks was going to be a part of WWE, maybe they could do that match there, or perhaps in Japan as well. I'm just throwing a few ideas out there, but one thing's for sure, I do think Sasha Banks is turning up, of course, probably under her real name, of course, Mercedes. But yeah, I think Kairi's going to win this match, and not to overlook this match, I think that these two are going to throw an absolute banger. I'm really looking forward to it, but I do think Kairi will retain. Next match we're going to talk about, I wouldn't be surprised if this actually kicks off the show, the Antonio Inoki Memorial 6-man tag team match. We've got the team of Yuji Nagata, Satoshi Kojima, and Toji Makabe going against Tatsumi Fujinami, Minoru Suzuki, and Tiger Mask. All of these 6 guys have ties to the founder of New Japan Pro Wrestling, of course, Antonio Inoki, who sadly is no longer with us. And to tell you what, New Japan know how to do tributes. I've seen the tributes they've done in the past, whether it's people retiring. Here with Inoki, one of the greatest to ever do it. You know that there's going to be a celebration, a special ceremony that's going to be there for Antonio Inoki on this show, and I think this is a very fitting tribute to have guys here that have got links to him, whether it's been times where he's been winding down his career with the likes of Nagata and Kojima. Of course, Suzuki, if I'm not mistaken, was actually an attendant for Inoki in the dojo back in 1989. So, I mean, there's a lot of history here with these guys involved. I think this is going to be a great fun 6-man tag team match. I'm going to go here for the victory for the team of Fujinami, Suzuki and Tiger Mask. But honestly, this is all about Inoki. Prediction here for this one's not important. I'm sure that all these legends are going to go out there and put in a great match for one of the greatest to ever do it. Next will be the New Japan Pro Wrestling World TV Championship Tournament Final. Going to be crowning a first ever champion here. It will either be Ren, Narita or Zack Sabre Jr. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Don't know so much about Ren. This will be the first time I'm actually seeing him in ring, if I'm being brutally honest. But Zack Sabre Jr. for me, one of the greatest technical wrestlers in the world right now. Incredible. Every time I see him, I just think to myself, this guy is money. And I think he would be perfect to be the first ever New Japan Pro Wrestling World TV Champion. Like we said, we've had a tournament to get these guys here. For me, I'm just going to say, again, I'm probably a bit biased going with the UK here, but big Sabre Jr. fan. He is going to be my pick for this match. Next, let's talk about the IWGP Junior Tag Team Championships. We've got the champions from United Empire, TJP and Francesco, Akira, going against the Super Junior Tag League winners for 2022, Lio Rush and Yo. For me, I think this is going to be an awesome match. I think all of these guys bring a lot of fun things to the table here. Like I say, Super Junior Tag Team action. What more can you ask for? It's going to be high flying. It's going to be fun. Obviously, for those that are probably more American wrestling fans, are probably used to seeing Lio Rush and TJP. They know what they bring to the table. I'm going to say the other two bring just as much to the table. It's going to be a lot of fun here. I'm actually going to say that I've gone for a few, new champions in this show. I think this could be a scenario where I think the tag titles could remain hands with TJP and Akira, but I don't know, there's something about Wrestle Kingdom. We do see a lot of new champions crowned over the years, so let's go with Lio Rush and Yo to be the winners and my prediction for this match. But yeah, not basing it on anything else, just titles usually change hands when it comes to these shows. Next, let's talk about another 6-man tag team match we've got on this one. We've got Keiji Muto's last match in New Japan Pro Wrestling. He'll be teaming with Hiroshi Tanahashi and Shota Umino. They'll be taking on LIJ's Tetsuya Naito, Sanada and Bushi in a 6-man tag team match. Now, of course, Muto has had an iconic near 40-year career. It's going to come close to in February. It's his last match for New Japan Pro Wrestling. And of course, he's had quite a bit of influence as well over the wrestlers that have been involved in this match. And again, of course, like I said earlier on in this video, New Japan, they know how to make it classy for these legends. They know how to give perfect tributes out there as well. It reminds me as well of the Jushin Thunder Liger a couple of years ago as well. I can imagine a similar send-off here for Muto as well. But to give a prediction, I mean, I'd like to see Muto pick up a win here. Obviously, it feels like, it's his last match in New Japan Pro Wrestling, but it's hard to go against my boys, LIJ, Naito and co. Always bring it when it comes to Wrestle Kingdom. I'm going to go for them to pick up the victory, but hey, we'll have to wait and see how it's going to go for me. I think this is going to be an awesome 6-man tag. We'll follow that up with the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship 4-way match. We've got Taiji Ishimori, the champion, defending against Hiromu Takahashi, El Desperado, and Master Wato, or Wato. I said I'll get some of them wrong somewhere. For me, I'm looking forward to this. A 4-way, again, we've got the junior heavyweights going at it. These guys usually throw their body to the wall, so I think this could be a good match of the year candidate here. But Ishimori, not really been the fighting champion. That's kind of what's got himself stuck into the situation of a 4-way. Of course, he did refuse to actually grant Kushida a title match, which would have been fun to have Kushida a part of this, but I guess that wasn't to be for this particular moment. But I think Taiji, now, could be biting off more than he could chew here. It would make the most American wrestling company sense for the fact that you wouldn't defend the championship, get thrown in the 4-way and find a way to escape as the champion. But I think here, it's going to bite him. I think he's going to lose the gold, and I'm actually going to go for El Desperado to pick up the victory here. I think that he's due for a breakout moment. He's been doing some fantastic work in New Japan, and I think it'd be nice to see him hold the Junior Heavyweight Championship. So yeah, my pick is going to be El Desperado. Let's go for the other half of the double main event then, shall we? The IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Jay White, the champion, defending against challenger Kazuchika Okada. Of course, Okada winning the G1 Climax to get this opportunity here at Wrestle Kingdom. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Jay White has a very good record against Okada. He has a 4-1 record against the Rainmaker. In fact, they had a short match a few years on Wrestle Kingdom, one of the shortest matches in Okada's probably Wrestle Kingdom career, if I'm not mistaken. And here, Jay White, I mean, he's been on an absolute roll. If I'm not mistaken, he's been champion for quite a while as well. I remember him going into Forbidden Door with that championship. So hopefully, if he's had a long reign, it seems to this point, minimum of 6-7 months then to this point. So will he actually walk out here still champion? If I'm not mistaken, when he won that championship, he won it from Okada as well. So for me, I'm going to make a bold prediction here, and one safe prediction. It's probably going to go about 45 minutes this match at least, but my other prediction for this one, this show, you know, with the tributes that are there for some of the legends, of course, for Muto for his last match, and of course Antonio Inoki, the New Japan Pro Wrestling founder, of course, sadly no longer with us. I think the fans are going to be sent home happy on this night, because Kazuchika Okada is the face of New Japan Pro Wrestling. What better way to close off the show than to have your top babyface winning the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship? So for me, I'm going all in. I'm going to predict Okada. So that's the main show. Quickly, just going to go then on to the kickoff matches just before I leave you. Ryohei Oiya, I hope I've said that correctly, going to be taking on a Boltin Oleg, which is just going to be an exhibition match to kick things off. I don't know too much about either guy, but I feel like for me, Boltin Oleg looks like hopefully it'll be a big deal by the look of it. It looks to be a heavyweight prospect here, and of course with Oiya as well, being a collegiate amateur wrestler as well. Hopefully this will be a lot of fun to see him. I'm interested to see how it's going to go, but I'm going to go for Oleg to pick up the victory. And of course, like any good New Japan show on a kickoff, we need ourselves a KOPW 2023 qualifier for the New Japan Ranbo. It is the equivalent of a Royal Rumble match. It's always a lot of fun, a lot of surprises usually thrown in this match as well. It's wild, it's wacky, it's fast paced. You blink, you miss something. Now, some people that are not so familiar with this, of course, a qualifier for the KOPW 2023. Probably some people saying, what is that? Is that a championship? It's a trophy that people are fighting for, and it has led to matches that have gone to take place on New Year's Dash on recent shows, and sometimes as well, I think where we've had the 2 nights as well, Wrestle Kingdom, usually have it on night 1, and I think sometimes you have the decider on night 2. This year, definitely going to be on New Year's Dash on January 5th, and of course, we'll have to wait and see how it's going to go down. 4 wrestlers, I believe, are going to enter into this to get to New Year's Dash, so for me, I mean, every year Chase Stevens wants to get into this final 4, doesn't he? So I think he's going to be one of them. Yano, of course, is always a very popular one. He's always very popular in these matches as well, so I'm going to predict him there. David Finlay, I don't see on this card, so he'll be another one for me. And I'm going to go for Great O'Khan, because where is he on this? There's so many wrestlers, some big-time names here that are not on this card that I've seen. Like I said, we'll probably get some big surprises here on this show as well, so don't be surprised if 1 or 2 surprises come in and end up in the final 4. Certainly a big reason to go and make sure that you see everything of Wrestle Kingdom, not just the main show. It's now your turn. Let me know your predictions in the comments below. How did I do with the names? Did I butcher any of them? Let me know as well, and how I should be saying them correctly if I've got anything wrong. If you've enjoyed this video, then please do like, share, and subscribe. Once again, Happy New Year. I hope 2023 is the year for you. If you want to start off the year in style, make sure to watch Wrestle Kingdom. I can tell you it's gonna be a great show. It's a show that I've enjoyed watching for many years now. Like I said, I'm a casual New Japan follower. Wrestle Kingdom, though, is a show never to miss. Just like your Dominions, you can see like the bits of the G1 Climax and stuff like that. But this show is something that you must see every year. I really do encourage people to go out of their way to see this show, because I think some great things are going to happen, particularly this year with the card that we've been talking about. But that's all from me anyway. Thanks for watching. Check out these videos on the side of the screen right now. Have yourselves a great day. You've been watching SCW here on YouTube. Thank you as always for watching.